A topic of much discussion recently has been whether or not ex-fascists should be welcomed onto the left. Should we be allowing people who once held abhorrent views on our political side? Now, when I first heard this being discussed, I was actually confused as to why this was even up for discussion. I never knew that this was actually controversial. I thought that it was overwhelmingly obvious that we should be forgiving people and allowing people who once held abhorrent views on our political side. I thought that the left believed in helping people, rehabilitation, and forgiveness. These are essential left-wing principles, and they are very important, and we should apply them to everyone, including the worst of our opponents. I see no reason why we shouldn't. The answer to this question is so obvious. Anyone who once held a foul view should be allowed on the left, so long as they don't hold these foul views anymore. This is a very easy way of the left to lose opponents and gain allies. We are neutralizing our enemies, and in doing so, we are gaining allies. It is a win-win. Remember, there's no point having spite-based politics where you just hate everyone who once disagreed with you. People do not just freely choose their ideology. Many people are groomed into ideologies. It's their environment that shapes them and makes them who they are. It's their environment that shapes their ideology. So just having a spiteful attitude towards people just because of views they once held is completely abhorrent, and it's absolutely disgusting, to be honest. Any leftist who does this is a complete disgrace to the movement. We should be able to forgive people when they change. I mean, anyone who's over about 5 years old realizes that people make mistakes and that they can change. And that is exactly what we should be realizing on the left. And we should be applying this to our politics. Some ask, what if the person is still secretly a reactionary? What if the ex-fascists is actually still a fascist? Well, if they don't act like reactionaries, I am going to assume they are not reactionaries. If someone appears to have changed, I'm going to assume they did, because there's no other way of me reasoning what they believe. You could say this about anyone. Someone who you think was a communist their whole life could secretly be something else. That doesn't matter. I don't care what someone secretly believes. I care about what I can reason they believe through their actions. Of course, it's really that simple. Some leftists will say that certain people on the left might be made uncomfortable by the presence of ex-fascists in the left. Well, I mean, anyone who believes this needs to get over themselves. The left isn't a social club. It's not a place for you to go to be surrounded by people who are all completely purity tested and perfect. It's a political movement, and it needs to be broad if we want to achieve anything. We should be acting like adults and welcoming people who share our views into this group. If they didn't share our views once, then too bad. It doesn't matter as long as they do now. If the ex-fascists make you uncomfortable, then honestly, you just need to move on and forgive them and get over it. Yes, I get it. A lot of fascists probably want you dead. Trust me, there's fascists who hate me too, but I would still forgive them any day if they converted to leftism. Even if you are so cold-hearted that you cannot forgive someone who once held a foul view, nobody is making you befriend these ex-fascists. You really don't have to do that. They're just going to be on the same very broad political side as you. And to be quite honest, I don't think there's really any reasonable point for not just getting along with and being fine with people who once held abhorrent views. People are a result of their environment, and we should forgive them for their mistakes. So basically, this is an overwhelmingly obvious question for me. Converting people to our ideology makes the left bigger, stronger, and a better political movement. We need to realize this. This is the most basic of strategies. The right wing realizes this. This is why the right wing does not viciously purity test everyone. This is why the right wing is so successful. As well as being strategically a good idea for growing our movement, allowing ex-fascists and others who once held abhorrent views is also morally desirable. I think that to tell someone that they will never be allowed in your movement because they once believed something is absolutely disgusting. How can we expect these people to stop having abhorrent views? What will drive these people to change if society will not accept them if they do? They will remain deranged fascists and Nazis with no hope until they will inevitably do terrorist attacks or God knows what. Morally, we need to be welcoming people and helping people who fell down the right-wing pipeline and who had the misfortune of being sucked into the evil ideology that is fascism. We should not be treating these people with spite. We should be treating them with empathy and care, and we should be forgiving them and trying to rehabilitate them. It's really that simple. And I think that anyone that disagrees with this is a complete disgrace who has no place on the left. This is the most obvious thing to me. So simply put, ex-fascists and others who once in the distant past held abhorrent views should absolutely be welcome on the left, just as anyone who is a reasonable person now and who has decent political views now should be. It's really that simple. And we should not have to discuss this.